When someone meets a Doberman for the first time, most people, they think one of two things has happened. Either the dog has decided they like them or not. But that's not really what's happening at all, because when a Doberman is meeting you for the first time, the Doberman is actually evaluating you. Not instantly judging you, not deciding whether you're a good person or a bad person, but gathering information. And it's happening much faster than most people realize. Before you've even touched the dog, before you've even said hello, the process has already started. And the really fascinating part is that the Doberman isn't just watching you, they're also watching their owner. And somewhere in those first few minutes, they gather information that will influence every interaction that dog has with you from that point forward. The first thing they notice isn't you. Here's the crazy part. The first thing a Doberman notices isn't your face, and it isn't even your voice. It's your chemistry. And yes, this is backed by research. In fact, long before visual information about you becomes important at all, a Doberman is already processing scent information at a level that humans can barely comprehend. Dogs have roughly 300 million scent receptors, compared to ours at roughly 6 million. That's 50 times more than we have. And guess how they use all that nose power. Believe it or not, research actually shows that dogs can use all that scenting power to detect human stress odor, even when no visual information is present whatsoever. In other words, you can't fake calm with a Doberman. You can smile, you can talk softly, you can even tell yourself you're relaxed, but if you're nervous around the dog, your body is already broadcasting that information chemically, and the Doberman is almost certainly picking up on it. The visual scan. Now, once the scent information is collected, the visual assessment starts. And this is where things get really interesting, because the Doberman isn't simply looking at you, they're reading you, usually by looking straight into your eyes. And that's something other breeds don't do anywhere near to the same level as the Doberman. Dobermans are incredibly in tune to posture and behaviors of humans, because they're such a human-focused dog. They're reading your posture, how quickly you're moving, whether your movement feels predictable or erratic, whether you're approaching directly or indirectly, and perhaps most importantly, whether your behavior matches what your scent is already telling them. Research on canine threat assessment has shown that dogs actually evaluate unfamiliar people primarily through posture, movement patterns, and body orientation. And honestly, this really does make perfect sense coming from such a human-like dog breed, because you and I, we do the exact same thing. This is one of the many reasons the Dobermans seem far more comfortable with people who almost kind of ignore them at first or approach them more indirectly, as opposed to those who, immediately become excited and just approach them head on. From the dog's perspective, calm feels predictable. Predictable feels safe, and safe allows curiosity to take over. And trust me, you want a Doberman curious about you far more than you want them wary of you. The stare isn't the decision. Every Doberman owner knows this moment. Their dog stops moving, looks directly at a random person, and just stares. People who don't know the breed often assume that this is the moment that the Doberman is deciding whether they like someone or not. And after many years of working with this breed and observing this breed, I honestly don't think that's exactly what's happening. In fact, I think the decision process of rating a certain individual has actually started quite a bit earlier than that. The stare is part of the analysis phase. They're comparing information. Does this body language match the scent? Does the movement match the owner's reaction? Does the person seem more comfortable? And more importantly, does my owner seem comfortable? In fact, the official Doberman Pinscher Club of America's working aptitude evaluation actually includes specific stranger assessment exercises designed to evaluate exactly this kind of judgment and discrimination from a Doberman. Not evaluating their obedience, but in this case, evaluating their judgment. That's actually really important because it means something. It means that this isn't strange behavior or poor socialization. It's actually part of what the breed was designed to do. Evaluate first and respond second. And honestly, as the only breed ever created for the primary purpose of personal protection of its owner, this makes perfect sense. The owner matters more than the stranger. next part is one thing that I think that most people miss entirely, because while your Doberman is, yes, evaluating the stranger who's approaching, they're also evaluating you, their owner. This is probably one of the most uniquely Doberman things about the breed. They don't just want to know who's this person that's approaching, they're also trying to answer, what does this person mean to my human? Remember, this breed was created specifically to protect its human from other humans, not sheep, not livestock, humans. It was built for us. And when your entire purpose revolves around one species, you get really good at reading that species, especially the human that you live with every single day. So when you and your Doberman are out for a walk and you meet someone new, another human, your Doberman is watching your posture, your facial expressions, and your tone of voice as much as they're reading those in the stranger. That Doberman knows whether their owner is becoming more relaxed or more tense, and they're incorporating all that information into their own decision-making process. This is one of the reasons people swear that their Dobermans can read their minds, but honestly, I don't think they're reading minds at all. I think they're simply just reading humans more carefully than most breeds do. And we are often fairly unaware of the signals that we're broadcasting ourselves. It can feel almost supernatural when our dogs pick up on them before we do. You know, honestly, this whole conversation about Dobermans constantly studying us and reading us so closely actually reminds me a lot of Doberman owners themselves. Because if you're watching this video and that's breaking down, you know, the first 10 minutes of a Doberman meeting someone new, let's just be honest for a second, you're probably pretty into your dog. And frankly, I of all people totally get it. Doberman people just tend to notice everything. You start paying attention to the details because this breed almost trains you to do that. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why we've partnered with Ollie for so long. Honestly, I bought Ollie myself years ago for the first time for my Doberman, Arlo, long before they were ever our sponsor, and I loved what their fresh meals did for him. His coat was shinier, his energy regulation throughout the day was just more steady. He seemed to focus more on me, which was awesome. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I made with my Doberman. Ollie's entire philosophy is actually built around the idea that some people aren't just dog owners, they're truly dog people like you and I. And health really matters. Their food is formulated with veterinary nutritionists and customized specifically for your dog's age, their weight, their activity level, and their goals. In my opinion, it's one of the best things you could do for your dog of any breed, really, is feed them fresh food. If you want to try out Ollie for yourself, their first box has a 100% money back guarantee, so there's really no risk. See what it does for your dog. I think you're going to be really impressed. There's a really great deal also going on right now. If you're watching this on a smart TV, you can just scan that QR code up in the corner of your screen. And if you're watching this on any other device, just click the link right down below this video and it'll automatically apply that deal. So you can use also, by the way, that Doberman Planet coupon code on your screen. That'll also work and make sure that you get the best possible discount. I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you try it out. The boundary test. This stage is usually subtle enough that most people don't even realize it's happening with their Doberman. This is where you'll often see the Doberman move slightly closer to the person, maybe sniff their shoes, maybe circle around behind them or briefly enter their space and then back out again. People often interpret these moments as indecision, but I don't think that's what they are. I think it's yet another form of information gathering by your Doberman, something that this breed is really notorious for. They're an incredibly intelligent breed and really curious too. They love to test, to see what the result is, and of course, to figure out patterns. They want to see how you react when they move closer, or when they walk away or circle around behind you. Do you become overly excited? Do you chase? Do you respect their space? And the funny thing is that people who perform best during this part of the interaction with the Doberman are often those people who don't realize that they're being tested at all. They're just a calm person, a patient person, and the person who allows the dog to control the pace of the interaction often makes them feel most comfortable. Those people almost always seem to win Dobermans over faster than anyone else. Because with a Doberman, confidence recognizes confidence, and calm recognizes calm. How Dobermans prefer to be introduced. Now, all of this naturally raises a question. If this is how Dobermans evaluate people, what actually makes a good first impression? I'm always meeting new Dobermans constantly, and a lot of them are really big, powerful looking dogs, and I can tell you that Dobermans noticeably prefer calm over excitement, and they noticeably prefer a sideways approach over direct approaches. And if touch happens, they really seem to be much more comfortable with touches to their shoulder or their chest area than with their hands, immediately coming over to their head. The less pressure a Doberman feels during the first few minutes, the easier it is for curiosity to replace caution with you as a new person. And that's what you want from a Doberman. Plenty of curiosity, zero fear. Of course, every dog is an individual, and if you ever approach a Doberman, make sure that you ask the owner if it's okay. You're responsible for your own safety. The next time you meet a Doberman out in public, or you watch your Doberman meeting someone new for the first time, pay very close attention. There's a very good chance you're watching a pretty impressive process unfold from one of the most intelligent dog breeds in the world, a process that most people never even realize is happening. And if you've ever noticed your Doberman doing some of these things during interactions, let me know down in the comments down below, because I genuinely would love to hear your stories. And if you enjoy learning about what's possibly the most impressive and unique breed in existence, the Doberman, then make sure you're subscribed right here at Doberman Planet. Turn all notifications on, and see you again next week.